last week, Tim Bontemps of ESPN reported that Embiid and Paul George will not be planning on playing back-to-backs this upcoming season. 15 back-to-backs for the Sixers this year. 12 of the back-to-backs are after January. So we're going to have a lot of back-to-backs in a short period of time after January. But what do you guys think about this plan of not of avoiding back-to-backs with PG and Embiid?
I mean, I guess I understand it. My thing is, I think you can have the plan. Hopefully, it's a kind of a plan that's not firm, and I say that because we don't know how the season is going to go. Like, we really don't know how it's going to look when those, as you said, 12 after January. We don't know how the season's going. So if you're fighting for position or you fight for certain things, I mean, there may be times when it's necessary. So that's why I'm saying, hopefully I understand the plan, but maybe hopefully they feel good enough that the plan could be adjusted if necessary.
Also, if you don't play for maybe 3 days after that back-to-back, he gets to rest, or let's say you blow the team out the night before, like there's circumstances where I think that you can bend that.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I mean, you can. It kind of depends on your schedule before, your schedule after, your minutes in that game. I mean, you may have a situation where you play both games, but your minutes are cut significantly. So and that's why I'm saying, like, to just say you're not going to play. I understand that plan, but like I said, the season, if you got to be a little flexible, when the season can kind of dictate differently, as it goes on.
Yeah. If it did happen this way, I'll play the hypothetical game. I'm totally fine with it. I think I like even more that Embiid sounds just down to try these kind of things. I think he ultimately knows what has to happen and what the real goal is, and that's to be healthy for the postseason, because that's really all that matters at this point. And we have the roster to support it, right? So Drummond is the best backup center in the league, probably, confidently say. And we have the best starting center in the league. So, well, he's not according to that GMs. He's like 20% of the best starting center in the league. But we have plenty of guys that can step up in George's place. So we can go a little smaller with like Gordon starting, or we can go a little bigger with Yabusele starting. But we have the most balanced, deep roster we've had in a long time. And I think that can support guys being out, right? And that's before we even make a deadline deal, which everyone's saying we're going to do this year for a 4. So that just makes it even easier for us to kind of just stagger them. My question is, now, if either of them play back-to-backs, do you think they're going to try to get as much George and Embiid on the court time as much as possible and have them sit together, or stagger them missing the back-to-back games so you always have at least one of PG or Embiid on the floor?
I don't know. I really don't, because I'm not used to going into a season and you got two guys where you say they're not going to play back to back. Like, so I don't know what would be the right way to do it, because I don't know anything about that world. To just come in and say we're going to miss 15 games. There you go. So I don't know.
Yeah.
So I mean, the way we're saying it is like, okay, you're not going to miss any other games then. That's kind of how it's said. You're only going to miss the back-to-backs. Well, hopefully that's, I don't know. Like, I really do not know how to approach it. If I had to guess, being that you mentioned it, I would guess that they would split them. One would play one game, one would play the other, and not take them both out the same game. So that's what I would guess. I mean, if you have a home game and a road game, but would you just play at home, and then the road game you just stay, you don't even go? Those are things that you can kind of figure out, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know how you handle it, because that's not my experience. I've never even, obviously I didn't experience that, and I hadn't even been around guys with that approach. Guys didn't play back to backs but it came to a point in the season where guys didn't play back-to-backs. Never at the beginning of the season would you have 2 starters and you say they don't play back-to-back. Like I don't know what that looks like.
I guess there's a few ways you can go with it, right? And hopefully there's someone on their staff that's breaking this down. So you can start them both against an inferior team, hope to blow them out, and then say, okay, they only played like 26 minutes. They can both play tomorrow now against the better team. You could try to play them both against the better team to try to pull out a win that game and test yourselves, and then have both of them sit out against the inferior team thinking we can still win this game anyway. Or you can just try to split them up. So there's, I guess,
I mean that's a tough situation because on any given night in the NBA you can be beaten. So
I know.
To
imagine
try to pick and choose which team you're going to play against, I don't think you can do it per team. I think you just need to make a decision based on how you want your team to look. Worry more about our team instead of the other team and what they look like. I would just say, okay, here we go. Either we're going to sit them together or we're going to split them. Whatever decision you make the decision to do that, not necessarily who you're playing. Now, once you say you make that decision, then maybe you can decide who's playing versus who. So if we playing Denver and we playing the Spurs and the Pacers back-to-back.
Yeah, let's go December 2020.
Plays, you know what I'm saying?
Charlotte and Cleveland. That's a good one.
You see, so Cleveland, Joel probably plays. And Charlotte, he wouldn't. Because Cleveland's bigger. You see what I'm saying? So I think if you're splitting them, you're making the decision based on the personnel of the team, not necessarily who's winning, who's not. I would think that's kind of how I would lean to approach it.
Yeah. Like Sacramento, Golden State on January 1st and 2nd. I might go and
you're not going to play. I'll play Joel against Sacramento all day.
Yes. Yeah. I think George is more instrumental probably in the Golden State game than he is in the Sacramento game. Yeah. That's interesting though. You're right.
Even though Joel was bigger, and he gives Golden State issues, it's still a lot of running around and chasing stuff and all them picks. Like it's still a lot.
It's true.
And that was the game where he got really injured. So Golden State last year. So pretty much though, we have one back-to-back in the first half of the season in December. I think it's the only back-to-back we have in 2024. So we should have all games play up until then. 100% attendance until then. Hopefully.
That's how I take it.
Hopefully.